Welcome, friends, haters, gentle lovers, and feeders. Join me as we experience together the most bafflingly interesting person on the internet. On today's episode, Amberlynn Reed does basically nothing. Hello, my friends. Amber has uploaded, and the title, if you've been in girl world for very long, you'll know that there's really not much I can add to convey the potential stupidity of this title. Something is wrong with me, new diagnosis, and starting a new medicine. So, I mean, you can hear the clickbait and all that, right? But I guess we'll just have to see how stupid this really gets. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not gonna lie.
Hello, welcome to a new vlog.
So she said that our thing was an instrument, but I would like to know what instrument that is, you know, because everybody was saying it sounds like a seal, which it does. And she was like, I can tell what you mean, but it's an instrument.
Do you seriously not hear the seal arf arf in your intro, or is it intentional? That's an instrument, but I definitely understand where you guys are coming from. I definitely hear it as well, but it is an instrument.
How do you know? And what instrument do you think it is exactly?
Super tired, but that's okay. Good morning. I actually have a doctor's appointment today. So it's really just a checkup to see how I'm doing on my new medicines, my thyroid medicine, because I have hypothyroidism, and then to see how I'm doing on Zoloft, which I'm doing really good.
Hang on. So her Zoloft and her supposed hypothyroidism medication are both being prescribed by her primary care physician? I just think this proves that she's not going to therapy. She just goes to the doctor and says, I'm depressed, and they give her some medication. Again, assuming all this is true. And there you go.
I'm sure it's going to be increased because that's usually what happens on Zoloft. You slowly increase it. And I also need to talk about another symptom that I have randomly received. It's not about Zoloft. It's just a health related symptom. Something is happening, and I will share it after my appointment because I need to hurry up, finish getting ready, and I will check in with you guys later.
Hey, we're at the doctor. I think that's her sitting down, you guys. I am pretty sure that is her sitting in a chair. Yikes.
So me and my mom got these frozen
Of course.
yogurt cones from Brahms. She introduced me, and they're actually so good. Usually I get vanilla, but they didn't have vanilla. They just had chocolate and swirl, but they're delicious, aren't they?
Is she saying that she is 34 years old and she's never had frozen yogurt? Let me listen to that again. That can't be what she's saying.
And my mom got these frozen yogurt cones from Brahms. She introduced me, and they're actually so good. Usually I get vanilla, but they didn't have vanilla.
Yeah, she's saying she's never had frozen yogurt. So when she does stuff like this, even when she's talking about food, which is kind of strange, but she tells on herself and sort of hints at how sheltered she is, like self-sheltered, and how cut off from the world she is. That in 34 years, she's never had frozen yogurt. Like, I don't know anybody, I've never met anybody who didn't know what a Twist frozen yogurt tasted like, or any kind of frozen yogurt. Like, yeah, this is one of the most common things people can get in America, period. Like, it is something everybody gets at some point. But yeah, she is so sheltered that even she has never had frozen yogurt until now. That's just weird, man. But I also wouldn't put it past her to just be saying that she's never had frozen yogurt just to get a reaction from people. So I guess she got me.
They just had chocolate and swirl, but they're delicious, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Frozen yogurt is the way to go.
Yeah, we all know that. Everybody knows that.
Hello. So it's been a few days. Just a real quick, short update. I have been extremely busy the past few days. Something happened. I don't really want to get into it, but I'm all good. It's just life is short, and like I try every day to.
Okay, no, she's got a little bit of duper's delight. Watch this.
I don't really want to get into it, but I'm all good. It's just life is short, and
look at that little smirk. So listen to what she's saying there, right? She's saying some bad stuff happened. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to bring it up though, so that you can start the rumor mill, so that you can all try to figure out what's wrong with me.
Like, I try every day to like think of something that I'm great.
And then she says, always remember that life is short. Again, hinting that it's just really bad. It's so bad that it's like, life is short bad. Shut up.
For, and I write it in my planner. I try very hard not to take anything for granted, and in this moment we should all just say something that we're thankful for. And for me, I'm gonna say, just because I was editing this video and it's the first thing on my mind, I'm gonna say my doctor.
Yeah, we should all say something that we're thankful for, and I'm gonna say my doctor, because again, it's bad, guys. It's thankful for my doctor bad.
Thankful for my doctor. We're now back on the swing of things. I've been busy, haven't been able to film, but I literally filmed my Let's Talk today, and now I'm back to vlogging. But I just want to give an update on the whole doctor thing. So I am increasing my Zoloft. I was started at 50 milligrams, and now I'm going up to 100 milligrams. Zoloft has absolutely been working. Zoloft has absolutely been working.
So here's something interesting I found. So she claims that she took her first Zoloft dose on around May 26th. So she's been taking it for about a month and a half.
And I'm also going to be taking my first Zoloft. I'm so excited. I know it doesn't start working for like 5 to 6 weeks, but every single day that I take it is just another day closer to me feeling better.
And she's upping her dose from 50 to 100 milligrams. And a few places I've seen online say this same thing. It says when to increase your Zoloft dose for anxiety. It says if you're taking Zoloft but aren't feeling any improvement in your anxiety levels, it can be tempting to simply up your dose, but it's important not to. And it kind of goes into saying it's not an instant relief medication, blah, blah, blah. And it says it can take around 2 to 6 weeks before you start experiencing a reduction in your anxiety symptoms, which is the main reason she's taking it, is for her anxiety. But then it says if after this period you still haven't seen any benefits, then you may want to talk to your doctor about altering your Zoloft dose. She has been saying that it's been working great.
Zoloft has absolutely been working.
She said it was working great before she went to the doctor.
Because I feel like Zoloft is actually changing my life for the better, and it feels really good.
So this is basically saying if you're not feeling the benefits, then up the dose. See, this says when should you increase your Zoloft dose? It says the same thing. If after a few weeks there's no reduction in depression or anxiety symptoms, you may want to consider increasing your dose over a period of time. So I think she's just making it up. I think she just read online that people up their dose to 100 at some point, or she got that voice message saying I'm on 100 milligrams and she wanted to be cool like that person.
So I know you shared recently that you're on Zoloft. I'm on Zoloft too. Marking my 1 year anniversary next month. For me, it has been working. I'm working very closely with my therapist and my psychiatrist as well.
Yes.
So I really hope it works.
Notice how when the lady says, I've been working really closely with my psychiatrist and my therapist as well.
I'm working very closely with my therapist and my psychiatrist as well.
Amber says, yes, like she's seeing a psychiatrist.
Yes.
So I really hope it works.
But apparently her Zoloft was just prescribed by her primary care physician. So I don't think she's seeing a psychiatrist.
For you, I just wanted to ask you how it's been feeling. How long have you been taking it? I'm on 100 mg. Yeah, it works.
It
I hope the
does.
best for you, and yeah.
I am not giving any kind of medical advice for how, many milligrams anybody should be taking or anything, but it just seems strange that she would say it's working great and then also say she needs to up her dose.
I have been able to
It's hard for me to take her seriously, especially when she does the little nodding thing with the hair on top of her head when it nods with her.
milligrams, and now I'm going up to 100
All right,
milligrams. Zoloft has absolutely been working.
It's just so goofy looking, man. I don't know. But yeah, the Zoloft, been working. Sure. Okay.
I have been able to regulate my emotions. I do not wake up with this extreme depressing feeling. I no longer have suicidal thoughts. I don't cry every single day. I'm telling you, I used to cry multiple times every single day. I am not as anxious anymore.
Okay. So remember earlier when I said that it was for anxiety and depression, but what she's saying here is basically, you guys, my BPD is cured. Zoloft Did it. I don't feel any of my BPD symptoms anymore. Zoloft is the magic pill. I am good to go now.
A little later.
So no time has passed for you, but I just got back from picking up my daughter from theater camp, and there just happened to be a torrential downpour on my way back. And I am so excited that she's doing theater camp. She wanted to try it this summer, and I'm an old theater kid, so my heart was singing when she said she wanted to try theater. She's just kind of one of those kids that just sort of naturally understands how to, act and how to move when she's acting. And so I think she'll do well. In fact, she can pick up accents like that. She'll hear somebody talk and she'll just turn and just do that accent immediately. So it's fun to watch her do that. But anyway, this video isn't about my awesome, amazing, fun, silly kids. So let's get back to Amberlynn. Here's another theory that I've got. And I don't tend to like to get real far into like conspiracy theories. I don't mind like throwing an idea out there and stuff like that, but I really don't want to latch on unless I've got some evidence. But I am going to throw this out there as just sort of a thought experiment, okay? What if she's got a girl or somebody lined up in the background that she's not talking about, which seems unlikely because I think she would struggle not talking about whoever she's talking to, but let's just kind of suspend our disbelief for a minute. Let's say she has somebody behind the scenes that's talking to her and they've gotten to know her. They've gotten to see her videos where she talks about her mental health so much. They've gotten to hear her talk again ad nauseum about all of her trauma and all that stuff. And what if they decided that the only way I'm going to talk to you is if you do something about your mental health, like, I don't know, take some kind of medication. And Amber decides, well, I'll get on Zoloft, and goes to the doctor and says, I need Zoloft. And they just say, okay. Or, of course, knowing Amberlynn, she could very well just be saying that all that happened so that her potential caretaker just sees the videos where she talks about her Zoloft and how much better she's doing. And look how great I am, guys. I don't have to worry about my anxieties or any of this stuff again. I am great. As sort of a message to her friend that everything is A-okay here, nothing to worry about.
I suffer with really bad, anxious attachment and paranoia and contamination things and just so many different random anxieties. Even when it's just storming, I used to get so scared, and my anxieties in every area of my life has drastically improved.
Notice how she says, I've got contamination stuff and all these different anxieties. She doesn't want to commit to saying she's got OCD or anything like that. She wants to dance around it so that she can say, I never said I had that. It's called plausible deniability. And while I doubt very much that Amberlynn could define that term, she certainly uses it all the time because she's exaggerating all this stuff. And just like when she claimed that she couldn't yell bingo at the bingo hall because of her paralyzing fear of public speaking or being out in public.
When I get a bingo, yelling bingo out loud gives me so much paralyzing anxiety that I literally can't do it. That is a mental illness. Anxiety is a mental illness. That is something that I am suffering with.
I just think this is a bunch of malarkey.
Able to regulate my emotions more. I'm able to think and rationalize before I react. And my feelings aren't so strong and sharp. Instead, they're rounded and calmer. And I feel happier and clearer. And I just don't have this dark fog over me. I'm mourning every single day. I'm telling you, just drastic difference. I am just so grateful for that. So what I was talking about with the random symptom that I'm having, I don't think it's because of the Zoloft. Thankfully, because I do not want to stop taking it. I want to take this for the rest of my life. If it has me feeling this.
She won't. She will find a reason pretty soon. She might take it for, I'd say the max a year or two, but she'll start looking for reasons not to take it before too long. And I also wonder if the Zoloft arc is sort of a way for her to reset. Because she claims to have all these anxieties, but then whenever she makes videos where she's obviously not doing the thing that you would be doing if you had those anxieties, and people call her out on it, well, she doesn't have an answer for that. So now she's sort of soft resetting the whole thing, or Zoloft resetting, if you will, the whole thing. So now she doesn't have to pretend like she has all those anxieties because the Zoloft is working, you guys.
This much better. like, I'm just beyond relieved, and I need this in my life every single day. But the last, I want to say for like 5 days, almost a week now, I have been itching really bad in the palms of my hands. It has been so bad that I've had to like get scissors and like just dig them in my hands. And I've digged so hard that I have like red. Can you see that? Like, it's not, the red is not what's making me itch. I have caused that from how hard I'm itching.
Well, it's good to know she's itching her itches.
And it's usually only at night while I'm sleeping and when I wake up. And so my doctor's like, okay, we're gonna need to do some labs. So he's gonna do a whole liver panel because I guess that's a symptom of something being wrong with your liver. I have no idea. So he's gonna check on that. And then I also need to get labs done where to see if
So she's claiming that she's taking these new medications, and completely separate from that, she's itching on the palm of her hands, and that can be the sign of some kind of liver thing. So on top of having these new medications, she has another thing that she could be diagnosed with, like liver issues or something, that have nothing to do with the medications she's taking or the hypothyroidism or anything like that. If I didn't know better, I would think maybe this was like the first time she's gone to the doctor in years. And so now they're starting to find all kinds of stuff wrong with her because, yeah, of course there's stuff wrong with her. And she hasn't been anywhere where they can check it out. I mean, the liver thing is actually something I would kind of believe, you know, if she's got a liver issue, like that would kind of start making sense because of the crap that she eats. I'm inclined to believe that she's got actual like physical health issues because she doesn't take care of herself at all.
The medicine I'm taking for my hypothyroidism is working to see if I need to like take more, increase that or whatever it may be. So we're gonna do labs for that. And there was another lab that he was pulling. I don't remember what it is at the moment, but I have to print off all those papers. I'm actually gonna go tomorrow to get that done. So yeah, I'm like worried that the itching can be due to liver. I don't know. The body is just like magnificent and like a good way and a bad way. In the ways of like, your body can do some crazy things, but it can also heal and it can change for the better. And I feel like your body genuinely fights.
How would she know? She has never done anything to make her body change for the better. You know, yes, it can heal. Yes, it can do a lot of miraculous things if you let it, if you do the right things. The only things that she's ever done to help her body were done like at the last minute when she had no other option, like going to the hospital after bleeding for years. And when it finally got out of control, then she went to the hospital. Like, she has to be forced into doing something to help herself.
Fights for you. Your body loves you, and you just need to do right by your body. But it's magnificent.
You think? Yeah, you do. How would you know what that feels like? You have never done that. Amberlynn Reed really just said you need to do right by your body. Come on, shut up.
In the way of like the crazy things it can do, the beautiful things it can do, and just health in general, whether it's mental, physical, whatever it may be. But anyways, I'm done rambling. I have to edit my Let's Talk, get that scheduled for tomorrow. Things are just genuinely so off. I was supposed to do my live stream yesterday. I was supposed to film my weigh-in, my what I ate today. I was not able to do any of these things, but everything is back in the swing of motion of things. Currently right now, I don't think I'm going to have like a YouTube schedule. I just can't stick to something right now. I just have a lot going on behind the scenes.
You guys, but she works better under pressure.
I think I'm gonna go back to having a YouTube schedule. I feel like I thrive under a set schedule. Like I genuinely work better under pressure.
What? You mean you're not sticking with a schedule? You mean you're giving up on something? Are you quitting something? That's weird. I've never seen that before.
For sure, a vlog is going to go up every Monday though, because I genuinely love vlogging. It's literally my favorite. But just like the weigh-ins and the what I ate today's, that to me is just messing with me. All right, you guys.
I see what she did there. She snuck that in right before the little scene transition. She's not doing her weigh-ins anymore or her what I ate today's. Like, of course. You know, this is par for the course for her. She will pretend like she's gung-ho on fire for losing weight, and she doesn't want to. She'll never want to. So she gets to the point where she realizes she doesn't want to, and she gives up on trying to hold herself accountable, because that's why she does the weigh-ins and all that stuff, is because she has convinced herself that if I tell people my weight, if I tell people what I'm eating, then that'll sort of keep me accountable, because then I'll be thinking, yeah, I better not eat this because I'm going to have to tell them that I ate it. obviously she never does that. She eats whatever she wants, whenever she wants, and then lies about it. So here we are again. The cycle continues.
So it has been hours since I last talked to you. I have taken Twinkie out. I have showered.
You hear that, haters? She said it. So it must be true. She took her shower and everything.
I edited my Let's Talk. I scheduled it to go up. And then I was editing this. And then I went onto my health chart portal thing just to see if I forgot to tell you guys anything. And I did. The other thing that they're doing labs for me is to see if I have a liver autoimmune disease. So that's kind of with.
So again, I think health issues, like physical health issues, I would be more inclined to believe because it's going to start catching up to her, right? The older she gets, while not doing anything to take care of herself, makes it far more likely that she's going to start having stuff like liver issues and heart issues and blood pressure issues and things like that.
In the liver panel, I didn't even know there was a such thing. I have no idea, but I'm just very grateful for my doctor that he's trying to figure this out because, like, what? I'm itching so hard I am causing welts.
She's acting like her doctor is like some sort of special doctor. You know, other doctors wouldn't do these tests.
But I'm just very grateful for my doctor that he's trying to figure this out.
Or wouldn't look for what's wrong. Does she think that if she had gone to another doctor, she would have gone in there and been like, I have these problems and blah, blah, blah. And they would have said, I don't really care. Like, yeah, of course they're going to do tests. If you start telling them symptoms, they're going to start doing tests. It's not special to you. It's not special to your doctor. That's just what doctors do.
Like, I'll show you a picture here of how it looked right after I was done itching it. Like, there was nothing on my skin. Like, this is an internal itch. It's not like a rash or anything like that. I was itching so hard. I created that. And then the welt like went down and now it's just red. And the other thing is I have like a slightly elevated blood pressure. Like when I was in the ER a couple months ago, when I first got there, my blood pressure was a little elevated.
I like how she says it's slightly, just slightly, you guys, just a little bit elevated blood pressure. Okay. Just not much, just tiny, tiny bit. Okay.
But like as I sit there and I'm sitting in the ER bed, my blood pressure does go down to a normal rate. But for some reason, like whenever I'm up walking or if I'm just like nervous about a doctor's appointment, my blood pressure is always elevated. So I'm actually going to be put on some blood pressure medicine. And
yeah, see, I don't think you would be put on blood pressure medication. Like if it's serious enough to be on medication, it's not just a tiny bit elevated when you're nervous about a doctor's appointment. If she is on blood pressure medication, which, again, I'm inclined to believe that kind of thing. And this also proves she will tell you if anything is going on. You know, so when she says, oh, I've got all these things going on behind the scenes, she would tell you what it was if she really did. And the fact that she's on blood pressure medication is pretty good indication that her blood pressure is more elevated than she's saying.
And I'm very nervous about it because he said it could make me dizzy. And I just don't even like the thought of that. The side effect of being dizzy outweighs what could happen from having elevated blood pressure.
Well, it's not like you move anyway. The problem with most people and being dizzy is the fear of like getting dizzy when you're behind the wheel or getting dizzy when you're walking somewhere, you know, or at work and performing some task. The biggest thing you have to fear from the side effect of being dizzy from your medication is continuing to sit wherever you're sitting and thinking, oh, that was kind of weird. That's really all you're going to experience.
Okay, guys, so this is just a little...
Oh, come on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't help it when I... Oh, this is a look, you guys. This is a look. Oh, man. You know what? You do you. I just wasn't ready for it, okay? I was not prepared for this look. Okay, all right, we're good. I'm good.
Mini update about my labs. I went there today and online they said they close at a certain time, but I went there and that wasn't actually accurate. I literally was 20 minutes late. They said they closed at a certain time. I got there an hour before they closed, or what they said they closed online. That's okay. I'll just go a different day. Tomorrow is 4th of July though.
So in a previous video, we talked about the locus of control, and it's a spectrum from internal to external. And internal, it says, individuals with an internal locus of control tend to believe that their efforts and actions directly impact their lives. They are more likely to take responsibility for their actions and believe they can achieve their goals through hard work and perseverance. But then it says individuals with an external locus of control believe that external forces beyond their control are the primary determinants of their lives. They may attribute outcome to luck, fate, or the actions of others, and may feel less empowered to influence their own situations. And that is something that Amberlynn absolutely has, is the external locus of control, where nothing is ever her fault. And sometimes it's because she just flat out lies and says, it wasn't my fault, it was somebody else that did this thing, and it turned out that wasn't the case at all. And I think that's what's happening here. I think she doesn't want to take responsibility for being late. And so instead of just saying, I was late, I didn't make it in time, it's their fault. They communicated the wrong time, or there was a misunderstanding. It's never, ever, ever her fault. In fact, let me go back and see what they said.
I went there today, and online they said they closed at a certain time, but I went there and that wasn't actually accurate.
Yeah, so see, it's they said they closed at a certain time, but that wasn't accurate. I mean, could that be the case? Maybe. But as often as Amber blames everybody for everything other than herself, I think it's very likely that she either read it wrong, misunderstood, or just didn't pay attention and showed up late. But instead of just admitting, I didn't even look and see what time it was, I assumed they closed at 5, but it turned out they closed at 4, that kind of thing. It was they posted it wrong. I just don't think that's true.
I got there an hour before they closed, or what they said they closed online. That's okay, I'll just go a different day. Tomorrow is 4th of July though, so they said that they're not going to be open until Monday, so I might go Monday, get my labs done. And I'm going to be downright completely, vulnerably honest right now. I think I have too much anxiety taking my blood pressure medicine.
Is she saying she has too much anxiety while taking her blood pressure medication? Like that her blood pressure medication is giving her anxiety? Or that she's anxious to take her blood pressure medication?
I have too much anxiety taking my blood pressure medicine. So my blood pressure was 152/86, I'm pretty sure. So it's nothing like extremely insane.
That's pretty high. That is pretty high for her age. That's high, girl. Yeah, it says a blood pressure reading of 152/86 is considered stage 2 hypertension. It says your blood pressure is considered high if it reads 130 to 139 over 80 to 89. So, yeah, it is concerning.
It is high, yes, but like, I don't know what it is. I feel so anxious to take it. Genuinely, I think it's because like my doctor warned me that I'm going to be dizzy on it more than likely, especially in the beginning, because your body gets used to having a certain blood pressure. So then when it lowers, it feels almost as if your blood pressure is too low.
Wait, is she saying that her blood pressure has been that high for a long time? Because she said her body has gotten used to being that high. That's even more concerning.
I don't know. I'm no doctor here, but that's just what I was told.
Oh, she's not a doctor? I had no idea. So, what are we doing here then? If you're going to be prescribed medication for obviously high blood pressure and you're too anxious to take it, like then what is the point? What is the point in even going to the doctor? If you're just going to do whatever you want to do anyway and make up some cockamamie excuse for why you're not doing it. I'm just too anxious, you guys. I'm just so scared of being dizzy. Why? Who cares if you get dizzy when you're sitting on your ass all day? And I'm not saying it would be like fun to get dizzy as a side effect, but she's making it sound like that would be so much worse than her having the high blood pressure. And again, it's temporary. And they're not saying you will get dizzy. They're saying that there's a possibility you could be dizzy. But she will look for any reason not to do something she doesn't want to do.
So then your body gets dizzy and like eventually it evens out. But oh my God, I feel so anxious about it. And it's like Zoloft takes away all my anxieties almost, but not this one.
Well, isn't that convenient? You know, when she needs to feel some kind of anxiety to get out of doing something she doesn't want to do, well, the Zoloft just didn't get that one. You know, that one anxiety, that one anxiety, as she likes to say, got away from the Zoloft. Dadgum, you anxiety.
I'll get you next time, anxiety. Next time.
But not this one. So
No.
I'm having a hard time and I just don't know what to do. Anyway.
It's not that she's anxious about it. She's embarrassed about it. She's sitting here thinking, I cannot believe I'm having to take blood pressure medication. It's almost like if she takes it, she has to admit that her health is out of her control, that she can't lie her way out of this or whatever. It's actually catching up to her. Because all this time she's been able to say, I'm obese, but I'm healthy. Well, that's starting to not be the case. So no, I don't think she's anxious about it. I just think she doesn't want to do it. And she is able to use anxiety as her get out of jail free card. And this is what I'm talking about with the whole Zoloft thing. She just uses anxieties as an excuse for everything. I don't like this because of my anxieties. I don't want to do that because of my anxieties. And it's funny because even with the Zoloft, she says, I mean, the Zoloft is working perfectly except this one specific thing. There's so much bullshit happening here.
It's tomorrow's 4th of July and I'm hanging out with my mom. I also hung out with my mom today, celebrated some of my stepdad's birthday, which was really fun. My friend actually baked him a cake. It was so cute. I should have got a picture for you guys. I forgot.
Again, convenient. She just happened to forget to take a picture of the birthday cake that her friend made her stepdad. Does that make any sense to you guys? This friend that she keeps talking about, I just don't buy it.
But tomorrow is 4th of July and I'm just in my closet actually trying to decide what to wear. I have like 2 red dresses. So we'll see if I wear one of those. I like to wear red for 4th of July personally. Hello. Happy 4th of July.
Oh, good Lord. Oh my God.
It is the next day. I totally forgot that I got this red polka dotted dress because I have like a mesh red dress, a lace red dress. And when I was looking in my closet, I'm like, now I have a polka dotted red dress. It's new. It's in my recent Torrid try on haul. And I was like, you know what? Since it's new, I'm going to wear it. So here's my little outfit of the day. I think it's super cute.
She actually goes out in public looking like this. And again, this has nothing to do with her weight. That is not what I'm looking at here. That is not. And maybe that's why she does it. You know, maybe she knows that if she looks as weird as possible, that it'll sort of take away from her weight. You know, people won't be focused so much on her weight. That's the only thing I can think of, because how can she look in the mirror and be like, yeah, this is the look?
Has pockets. All I am missing is blue. I do have blue mesh. Should I wear blue mesh? Because red, white, and then the blue mesh. No, I'm just gonna stick to the black. And then I'm wearing my hair in pigtails again. My mom loves when I wear my hair like this. So I'm like, you know what? Thank you for hyping me up. So yeah.
Mama Lynn is enabling more than just her eating habits.
Yeah, here's my outfit. This dress though, like, I prefer my dresses to be a little bit more snug.
Why?
In the back, but this is so.
That's just a weird picture right there. But why? Why are you wanting it to be more snug back here where it shows your shelf? And I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be happy with how, I mean, like, if you're happy with your shelf and you like showing it off, then whatever, you do you. But that's just a really strange part of Amber's anatomy that I would think she would want to wear something that didn't highlight it, you know? But what do I know?
In the back, but this is so loose, but that's okay. Gives me room to breathe. So every time I do a Torrid try on haul, I'm always plucking. See, this is loose. Like, I don't pluck just because something's tight or doesn't fit. I genuinely think I'm just a plucker because it's just a weird habit. I don't know. Do you guys have habits where you're just like, why do I do that? I don't understand.
No, it is absolutely 100% because most things don't fit her. Even the stuff that she gets like extra big, she always feels like it's up against her stomach. When I was almost 300 pounds, I was always doing that. I'd sit down and I'd pull my shirt away from my belly because I felt like my belly is pushing my shirt out where it looked more obvious. What I didn't realize at the time is that it didn't make any difference at all. I would just pull it out, and from here looking down, it looked different. It looked better, but it didn't hide anything. It wasn't like people didn't see I had a giant belly. But that's just a natural thing that she does all the time because she's self-conscious and she doesn't like her fabric touching herself. Even though she loves to have tight clothes and stuff, she's still self-conscious about it.
Yeah. I have multiple of those, including the plucking.
And then she calls it like a tick, right? Where it's not just that she's self-conscious, like everybody who's big like her. There are very few people in the world that are big or morbidly obese or whatever that don't do that. Everybody, if you'll watch people who are highly overweight, when they sit down, there's a couple of things that they always do. Number one, they will look for a pillow to cover their bellies with. Almost every time. They'll be the first to grab a pillow and hold on to it like this because they don't want their belly to show. So they're always holding on to pillows or a blanket or something like that. The other thing that almost all of them do is pluck their shirts. And it's usually around the bottom of their shirts and stuff. It's not a tic. It's not a mental illness. It's self-consciousness.
So I wanted to talk about this because it's very popular topic. I'm getting a lot of DMs on Instagram, and this genuinely has surprised me. So in my last vlog that I uploaded, I'm hanging out with my mom and my grandma, and my mom shares about when I was younger, some of like my tooth problems, how I had baby bottle rot or whatever it's called, and how I slept in a crib when I was 4 and I still used a bottle. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, why would Amberlynn share that story? Like, what the heck? That paints her mom in such a bad light.
Okay, so first of all, I didn't think that. I'm used to her talking about how horrible her mom is, you know? So it was not a surprise to me at all. I don't know how many DMs she actually got, but I will say I was surprised how many people in my comments even that were like, why would she share that story? I can't believe how sad that is. And they even were like, did you not notice how sad that story is? And it's like, yeah, but she has talked ad nauseum about how her mom was a horrible mom when she was little. You know, so this is no new information. This is not a surprise. Anybody who has been covering her for very long or over the last year or so, or anybody who's sort of been plugged in over the last year or so is familiar with her mom basically neglecting her when she was little. So this was not a surprise.
And I'm over here just like, what? That's nothing. That was like my normal. That was like a story that me and my mom and my dad share with everybody because we find humor in it. And it started to make me think that like some of my trauma is like so normalized to me, and that's what I was used to growing up, that like that story genuinely didn't even feel like anything bad. If anything, it kind of highlighted how far my mom has come. If so many people took it like the wrong way of like, wow, her mom was so neglectful. I mean, yeah, like my mom admits to that. She's very...
So this is saying a couple of things about Amberlynn. This, I think, is the trauma that she talks about, right? Now, she claims that she went through some really serious, crazy trauma things throughout her childhood. I still lean towards the idea that she exaggerates a lot of that. And I think her trauma, which it sucked, don't get me wrong, I think she had a terrible childhood, but I think it's this kind of stuff, right? Where her mom was off doing their own thing and neglected her, and she felt alone a lot, and she was in and out of foster care and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that there wasn't trauma, but I mean, I wouldn't put it past her, we'll say, to exaggerate, to make herself seem like more of a victim. And I will say her mom was the one sharing the story. You know, if she didn't want it shared, she shouldn't have told the story right to Amber's phone. So clearly her mom doesn't have a problem with Amber sharing it, but I think it still shows how little Amber cares about anybody else. Because if it were me, if I had grown up with a mom like this or whatever, and I was in the exact same position that Amber is, if my mom started telling that story and I went to go edit the video and all that stuff, I would not put that story in there because I do want to show that my mom is better now. I wouldn't constantly be harping on the fact that she was horrible when I was younger. It's almost like that's all Amber can talk about when it comes to her mom is, oh man, she was so bad back then. She's come a long ways, but gosh, you would not believe how terrible she was. I would rather focus on the positives, the things that she's doing now. So If it were me and my mom told that story, I would cut it out. And I would even tell my mom, hey, listen, you told this story about my teeth and stuff. And I know that we share that in our kind of family circles and stuff. But I don't want to harp on negative things on YouTube. I don't want my audience to really think that you're a monster because you've come so far since then. So I'm not going to put that in there. But the way Amber sees it, any story that involves Amber, no matter who else is in it, it's her story to tell. She can tell it because she was in it. Even if it paints somebody else in a terrible light, like she did with Beck, when she was telling the engagement story, there was no thought to how it would affect Beck because it was Amber's story to tell, because Amber was involved.
I will be talking about my past experiences. I am a human being with experiences, as is everyone, and I don't want to shy away from things that I've been through just because someone else was involved. That's silly. That's not only silencing me, but it's taking away my human experiences. So I don't care who is involved.
Open about that. My mom will be 10 years sober November 1st of this year. 10 years, a decade. And if people think the story about my teeth and me being in a crib is bad, that's nothing. Like, that's genuinely just a story that we've always shared. That's why we laugh so much during the story. Me and my mom both are used to like chaos, and my mom has gone through so much. And, you know, in her sobriety, she has had to confront so many different things, and she has to talk about these things.
She doesn't have to talk about them in front of an audience. That's what Amber doesn't understand. Is once she posts it on her channel, it's not a family story anymore. It is the internet's story. It's a story for everybody. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care how that makes Mama Lynn look. She doesn't care what happens to Mama Lynn, if she gets harassment, any of that stuff. She posts it knowing Girl World, knowing how people might react. But Amber, for some reason, has decided that anything that needs to be shared or that she thinks can be shared needs to be shared with tens of thousands of people or hundreds of thousands of people once all the reaction channels are watched and all that stuff.
To heal from them and to not have so much guilt over these things. And she's had to ask for forgiveness, and I have forgiven her my whole life. I very much am unconditional in that regard. But a big thing is my mom always said, anything that she put me through in my life is my story, and I'm willing to share it. And what I love about sharing it now, this day and age, is that's the past. And seeing how far my mom has come is just so incredible. You guys wouldn't believe where my mom used to be in the childhood that I genuinely had.
I mean, we believe it. You talk about it all the time. It's like the only thing she can talk about when it comes to her mom is how horrible she was. And that's great that she's come a long way since then. How about you focus on that? Instead of constantly talking about how terrible she was back then, you know, we all know that. Move on. Move on to the good stuff.
And a lot of people have said through my years on YouTube, Amberlynn, why do you talk so badly about your parents? Why do you share this and that? Why do you over-exaggerate your childhood? The crazy thing is, I underplay everything because I love my parents so much and I don't want them to be painted in a bad light.
Oh, shut up. She really just said, I don't want my parents to be painted in a bad light. After spending a decade talking about how horrible they are, and then also showing them talking about how horrible they are. Amber, that is all you're doing. Your entire description of your parents is painting them in a bad light. That's all you've ever done.
That's a big reason why I don't talk about foster care or why I was in foster care or things around it, because I'm not over exaggerating. I'm downplaying everything that I went through, I guess, for this
I don't believe that for a second. Nope.
reason, because I don't want people to like look at my parents and think of them in a harsh way. But
She doesn't give a single corner turd about how people look at her parents. If she has a story to share, she'll share it. If she thinks it'll get some attention, get her some sympathy, she will share it 100%.
then it just gets convoluted and confusing because it's like, my story is my story and my mom has come so far, and every single day I'm like, you did that, woman.
See, my story is my story. Even if there's somebody else involved, I don't care. It's my story. Amber really is convinced that if she has a story to tell, it does not matter what happens to the other person involved. I get to tell it because it's my story. She has zero consideration for anybody else in the story. And that just shows the extreme narcissism that she has. Because most people, if we have a story to tell and it makes somebody we know or that we have known or that we love, if it makes them look bad, even if it's our story to tell, even if it's something that happened to us, we would think twice before sharing it because we don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't want to make them look bad, that kind of thing. Even if it's not to an audience, even if it's just to like a small group or something or to another person. But Amber does not care.
So proud of you. She's such an inspiration. Like, it just makes my heart feel so full.
Actually, I think that's the cholesterol.
Like, if we could plug in a little device, this is such a Black Mirror episode, plug in a device and see my memories or see my mom's memories and then look at her now, you guys, it is such a beautiful thing how amazing and glorious life is once you find that sobriety and you completely change your life.
Then stop talking about how horrible she was. Stop telling all the terrible stories. Start focusing on the fun things that you're doing with your mom.
Me and my mom are going to Ross.
Hey, what's up?
Look at her hair, how pretty it is, and she wants to cut it all off. She wants to cut all that. Girl.
Yeah,
So next weekend she might cut it.
yep,
Are you excited?
yeah. I'm getting it dyed gray and black. So when my grays come in, you can't really tell.
This is 2017 Amberlynn, and then you come over here, current Amberlynn. That is so cute. Some woman.
She is out in public with this look. She went and she's walking around real people.
Woman just said she likes my whole vibe. I thought that was so sweet. So I was genuinely thinking.
So if somebody really said that, which I doubt it, but if they did, it's clear that Amber is trying to get attention. And if that happened, then she got it. But was it more, oh man, I like your vibe? Or was it more, oh, bless your heart, I like your vibe? Because I think they more feel sorry for her when they see somebody looking like that. Because that's just a weird look, man.
Thinking about getting this until I looked at the price. $52.99. Not bad, but is it worth it? So we're standing above this river on this bridge here. There's the city. So when it gets dark, there's fireworks coming from every angle possible. So this is where we like to come. Oh, they're already started. Thumbnail.
Thumbnail, what's that mean?
I don't know. Do you see the city?
Yeah.
I mean, I do know. Thumbnail is like for the video
Oh, thumbnail.
that people see.
Well,
Welcome to Oklahoma City, the bridge where all the fireworks are.
oh, they can't really see them, right?
So, no joke, I really would not be surprised if a bunch of the people that are out there went home and were like, did you see that weird girl with the weird, like, black mesh and the dress on with the pigtails? That was so weird. I mean, like, she's getting the attention, but I just don't think it's the attention that she thinks she's getting.
It must get darker.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon the whole bridge is going to be filled up with people. We already have some people down there. There's tons of people on that bridge. But pretty soon this whole one is going to be filled.
So this may be a controversial take. I don't really care about fireworks. I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. You know, like I've seen them all. Now, if they created some fireworks that, you know, would fly up into the air and do a jig like on Harry Potter or something, then I would be like, okay, now I've seen something new, you know, but I have seen everything they can do. And I guess it was impressive when I was a kid, but now I don't understand the appeal of just watching a thing go like this in the air, just go. I understand that lots of people do like them. My kids like fireworks, and some people get like obsessed with them. And I will never understand because I've seen them all, you know.
Like, why aren't you seeing what I'm seeing?
I think fireworks are boring. Sorry. Sue me.
I had an amazing 4th of July, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you guys in my next one sooner than you think.
Sooner than you think. Oh, that's a threat. So yeah, I don't know what to think about this whole Zoloft situation type deal. She talks about mental health basically constantly. It's almost all she talks about is her mental illnesses and her anxieties. Yet she doesn't see an actual mental health professional to prescribe it. It just seems, I don't know, something is weird about the whole thing. And I'm guessing the DoorDash driver has stopped contacting her at this point, or at least she has stopped figuring out how to fake those messages. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, the blood pressure thing, of course. She's got high blood pressure. She's probably had high blood pressure for years now, because even she said it was at 152/86 or whatever. And she says once your body gets used to having this blood pressure and it goes down, that means she's probably had that high blood pressure for a long time. That wasn't like just a tiny bit elevated. That was high blood pressure. Probably in need of some medication to level it out. But of course, she's got to think of some reason not to take it, because she's so quirky and interesting, you guys, and special. You know, she has special blood pressure. I don't think I'll need to take it because my blood pressure will figure it out. Yeah, I think we are in the doctors and medications era going forward, where that's all she's going to talk about is all her different maladies that she's suffering from. But how is that different than any other era? It's not. It's what she's always done. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.